Hello, once again, my lovely audience, to our next segment on this running topic of kinship in Shona society. Hukama, that is the word that is used within Zimbabwe among the Shona for denoting kinship. Now, I'm speaking to you in your circumstances as people who may, for no fault of yours, find yourselves not having had the opportunity to learn some basics of Shona culture, of Zimbabwean ways of verbal interaction, but would like to learn now. You may be a young person, you may be an adult, you might be somebody, adult who is marrying into a Shona family from a circumstance, a context of being a Zimbabwean who is not a Shona person, but you may also be a non-Zimbabwean. So these would be useful terms for you to know when you interact with those within your other half's family, and the way your other half interacts with those from your side of the family of yourselves as a couple. Or perhaps you might just be somebody who is keen to go and relocate to Zimbabwe as a non-Zimbabwean, or as a product of a Zimbabwean parent or Zimbabwean parents. You want to go to the country and settle there and contribute to its development. Once again, these terms would be helpful for you to know in terms of interacting with other people. Now, just to recap a small bit from the last session, the children of your paternal aunt, whom the paternal aunt is the one whom we refer to as Vatete. Now, when you refer to her children, if you are a male person, those children are your vazukuru. One is muzukuru. Two or more are vazukuru. And as I said last time, when it comes to dealing with vazukuru, age doesn't matter. Even if you are a 3-year-old, you are a 5-year-old, you can send a 60-year-old on an errand. If that 60-year-old is the child of your vatete, the child of your paternal aunt, you can rebuke him or her, not necessarily simply just to embarrass them, but if you feel they have done something wrong, you can rebuke them, tell them off with authority, regardless of how far senior in age they are, because in social rank they are below you. You are of a rank higher than them in terms of authority and respect. Now you call them vazukuru, and you use that same term for the children of your sister. If you are male, you call your children's sister vazukuru as well. Now, when it comes to a female, if you are a female and you are referring to the children of your paternal aunt, vatete, the children of your paternal aunt, they are your children. You have the rank in relation to them of mother. They address you as their mother, and you address them as children. They are your children, again, regardless of their age. They might be younger than you, but they might be gray-haired, and you are still a toddler. They are your children. And the same thing applies to your sister's children, whether it's your older sister's children or your younger sister's children. They are your children. Now we move on to, I've already indicated to you that if you are a married man or married woman, you refer to the father of your other half as Vatezara. So your husband's father, your wife's father, you refer to them as Vatezara. Your wife's mother is Ambuya. Your husband's mother is Vamwene. And that wife's father, your wife's father, refers to you as Mukuwasha. Your husband's father refers to you as a married woman, refers to you as Murora. Your wife's mother is Ambuya. Your husband's father is Vatezara. But your husband's mother is Vamwene to you as a married woman, is Vamwene. Now we move on to you as a woman. You may have brothers, siblings who are male, and they may be married. So when they are married, you refer to their wives as Varora, plural. Any one of them, Murora. Any one of them, Murora. The same applies to the way it's like the same term that is used by your husband's father, your husband's mother. They refer to you as Murora. Now you, in your turn, as a married woman, or any woman at all, referring to your brother's wife, you refer to her as Murora. These days, there is that popular term that is used, Makoti. Now, when you as a man refer to your wife's brother, you call him Tsano. Yes, you can also call him Mkwasha. Mkwasha specifically means son-in-law, but you could also use that term. However, the more appropriate one is Tsano. And they, in turn, can also call you Tsano, or if they want to show deeper respect to you, they can call you Mukwasha. That is your wife's brother. We move on to the wife of your brothers, the wife of your wife's brother. So your wife has a brother, and that brother has a wife. You refer to that wife as Ambuya, which is mother-in-law, because in the old days, if anything went wrong with your wife, they became sick or they became they reach the menopause early, or they unfortunately died, you could be given a replacement wife from the child of your wife's brother. So the mother of that of your wife's brother is Ambuya to you, mother-in-law, in terms of just potentially being your mother-in-law by way of that respect. Now, when we talk of all these people, Vatezara, Vamwene, Ambuya, all those we refer to with those names, with those titles, strictly speaking, in a real strict Shona culture, they are people who, when you greet, you are not supposed to share a handshake, because to share a handshake is an intimacy that it breaks the distance between the two of you. So when you greet each other, you're supposed to simply clap hands as you sit at a reasonable distance from each other and ask after each other's life and so on, without actually shaking hands, because shaking hands reduces the rank, reduces the distance between the two of you in terms of the kind of social distance that there should be. Now, I've already explained in the previous video that your older brother's wife is Amai Guru. Your younger brother's wife is Amai Nini. Now, those same terms apply to your wife's older sister. You refer to as Amai Guru. Your wife's younger sister is Amai Nini. And in the reverse, as a wife, as a married woman, you refer to your husband's older brother as Babam Kuru, your husband's younger brother as Babam Diki or Bamnini, as depending on region. Now, Amai Guru, Amai Nini, Babam Kuru, Babam Diki can all be classified under the term Muramu. It is a neutral term that can be used to refer to husband's brother, can be used to refer to wife's brother, wife's sisters. So whether, regardless of age, whether it's an older sister, younger sister of your wife, you can use the term Muramu. Older brother, younger brother of your husband, you can refer to as Muramu. Now, your sister, or rather, the sister of your husband, is Vatete. The same term also applies to the paternal aunt of your husband. You use the same term Vatete because your husband addresses his paternal aunt as Vatete. You also use that same term. Your wife also has paternal aunts, or may have paternal aunts, and she refers to them as Vatete. Because you are married, you also use that same term to refer to them, Vatete. Your husband's maternal aunt, that is, the children of your husband's mother's older or younger sisters. So your husband's maternal aunts, those that I originally said are designated by the term Amai Guru, Amai Nini, younger sisters of your husband's mother, or older sisters of your husband's mother. Now, your husband can, in greater respect for them, refer to them as Amai. So, as a married woman, you also use that same term, Amai, when referring to them. So, that means the older sisters or younger sisters of your mother in law. The reverse also applies to your husband when he refers to your mother's older sister or younger sister. You, as a woman, when your husband refers to your mother's older sister, mother's younger sister, he uses the term Amai. Yes, you could use the term Amai Guru, Amai Nini, depending on their seniority, but you show, or he shows greater respect for them by using the term Amai, just like you would use yourself. So this basically brings us to the end of this segment of kinship. We still have a few more aspects to explore, but we just round off on this one with these terms that are used as you interact within Shona society, Shona family. Remember, European Western culture tends to distinguish, to want to isolate people, whereas Shona culture tends to want to bring people together. So that is why all these terms are used that endear, that enhance, that endear people, endear relationships, that bring people together, enhance unity. I will talk more on that another time. Thank you very much for your attention and for following these sessions. Once again, do not limit yourself to learning from this. There are other channels from which you can learn these terms and more besides. That would be useful to you as you explore or prepare yourself to enter the Zimbabwean context and interact with other people, especially among the Shona society. Thank you very much. Bye. See you next time.